As you might have seen from our previous videos, we've compared the 7.3 and the 6 liter Powerstroke, as well as the 6 liter Powerstroke and the 6.4 liter Powerstroke. Today we're going to compare the 6.4 and the 6.7 liter Powerstroke. What makes this comparison unique is that Navistar was not involved with the development or building the 6.7 liter where they were with the 6 liter and the 6.4 liter Powerstroke. Let's get into the video. I think it's safe to say that the 6.4 liter Powerstroke is one of the worst diesel engines ever used in automotive history. It's plagued with problems, many of which are catastrophic and completely destroy the engine. It was basically designed as a throwaway engine, and it wasn't designed to last a long time or be easy to maintain or repair. Many repairs or services require the cab to be taken off of the frame, and overall it was just a bad engine design. Before the 6.4, Ford and Navistar's relationship was already on the rocks because of all the issues that were caused by the 6 liter Powerstroke and all the warranty claims involved with it. Ultimately, all the issues with the 6.4 liter Powerstroke led Ford to abandon Navistar and develop their own Powerstroke engine in-house. For the most part, there aren't that many similarities between the 6.4 and the 6.7 liter Powerstroke, mostly because they were designed by completely different companies. Not too surprisingly, the 6.7 liter has a larger bore and a larger stroke than the 6.4 liter Powerstroke, which is what gives it that extra 300 cc's of displacement. Displacement is pretty much the easiest way to add power throughout the entire rev range of an engine, so it makes sense why Ford added that extra displacement. Strangely enough though, Ford lowered the compression ratio on the 6.7 liter down to 16.2 to 1 instead of 17.5 to 1 like it was on the 6.4 liter. As far as the block goes, the 6.4 liter uses a cast iron block and the 6.7 liter uses a compacted graphite iron block. The CGI material used to construct the 6.7's block is both lighter and stronger compared to the cast iron material used on the 6.4 liters block. Unfortunately, there is no bed plate on the 6.7's bottom end, but we'll cover that just a little bit later. Looking at the heads, the 6.4 liter uses cast iron with 4 16mm head bolts per cylinder, and the 6.7 uses cast aluminum heads, which flow in reverse compared to the 6.4 liters head. Overall, the 6.7's heads are lighter and flow better than any Powerstroke heads before it. Plus, the reverse layout leads to much better throttle response because the turbocharger is in the valley between the heads. On top of the cast aluminum construction and the reverse flowing design, the 6.7 liters valve train is also quite a bit different than the 6.4 liters valve train, in the sense that it has 4 push rods per cylinder rather than 2 push rods per cylinder. Both engines have 4 valves per cylinder, but the 6.4 liter uses 1 push rod for the exhaust and 1 push rod for the intake, with a rocker arm that connects both valves to 1 push rod. The 6.7 liter, on the other hand, uses 4 individual push rods so that there are not connected rocker arms. There are 4 individual rocker arms and 4 push rods per cylinder. Ultimately, this makes the 6.7's valve train much quieter to operate than the 6.4 liters valve train. Taking a closer look at the heads also shows the difference in injection systems. The 6.4 liter uses a Siemens K16 high pressure fuel pump, where the 6.7 liter uses a Bosch CP4.2 high pressure fuel pump. Both fuel pumps have their pros and cons. However, the K16 pump on the 6.4 liter flows well over 20% more than the CP4.2 pump on the 6.7 liter, where the CP4.2 makes up for its lack of total flows with its ability to produce upwards of 30,000 psi of injection pressure. Another pro of the 6.7's pump is that it's way easier to replace than the K16 pump, which was located under the compound turbocharger setup on the 6.4 liter. Ultimately, both injection systems are known for failing anytime water gets introduced to the system, and a failed injection pump can lead to catastrophic failure. Both the 6.4 and the 6.7 liter use piezoelectric injectors, which are capable of supporting upwards of double the factory power output. The 6.4 liter is fitted with Siemens injectors, which are equipped with 6-hole nozzles, while the 6.7 liter uses Bosch injectors, which use 8-hole nozzles. Either way you go, both engines have really good injectors, which can support a lot of power. Taking a closer look at the block, the big differences are the materials used and the design choices that were made. As stated earlier, the 6.4 liter uses a cast iron block, where the 6.7 liter uses a CGI block. The 6.4 liter uses a bed plate secured with 4 bolts per main, which makes the bottom end very rigid, where the 6.7 liter does not have a bed plate, but it is a deep skirt block with 6 bolts per main. The connecting rods are one of the strong points for the 6.4 liter, and it uses powdered metal connecting rods, which are capable of supporting upwards of 1,000 horsepower. The 6.7 liter, on the other hand, uses powdered metal cracked cap connecting rods. While they might not be as insanely strong as the 6.4 liters rods, they're capable of withstanding upwards of 700 wheel horsepower and can easily withstand most street applications. Although the 6.4 liter has really good connecting rods, it has absolutely garbage pistons, and it's one of the main weak points of the 6.4 liter engine. The pistons are known for cracking with age, abuse, and a design that retains a lot of heat near the fuel bowl. As you can imagine, replacing pistons is not a very cheap thing to do, which is part of the reason that the 6.4 liter is generally treated as a throwaway engine. The 6.7 liters pistons don't have this cracking issue whatsoever, and they're decently strong. Like pretty much all modern diesel engines, both the 6.4 and the 6.7 use turbochargers. The 6.4 liter uses a compound turbocharger system which combines two turbos into one unit. And this is one of the strong points of the 6.4 liter because this compound system is capable of producing upwards of 40 psi in stock form, which results in a huge amount of power potential. The compound system was manufactured by Borg-Warner, and it combined a 65mm fixed geometry turbo with a 52mm variable geometry turbo. On the other hand, the 6.7 liter has had two different turbochargers throughout its lifetime. The first one is the Garrett GT32 SST. What's cool about this Garrett turbo is that it's a single sequential design using two 46mm compressor wheels into a dual inlet compressor housing that made use of a tiny 64mm turbine wheel on the exhaust side. A unique feature of this Garrett turbo is that it is a wastegated variable geometry turbo, where most variable turbos are not wastegated. Ultimately, the Garrett GT32 SST turbo did provide really good low-end power and really good throttle response, but it lacked top-end power, and when tuned, you could see the turbocharger reaching speeds upwards of 160,000 RPM, where overspeeding failures become really common. In the 2015 to current Powerstroke engines, you'll find the Garrett GT37 family of turbochargers. The newer GT37 turbo is more reliable than the GT32 SST and can support more power. However, it still can't quite match the insane power potential of the 6.4 liters compound turbocharger setup. EGR systems have come a very long way compared to the 6 liter Powerstroke's EGR system. Starting with the 6.4, two EGR coolers were used, and the EGR valve saw some operational and durability improvement. However, sludge buildup eventually reduces flow and can lead to failure. The 6.7's EGR system is comprised of a hot side EGR valve, which manages exhaust flow before it enters the EGR coolers in order to reduce soot buildup. Just like the EGR system, the 6.4 and the 6.7 liter Powerstroke both use diesel particulate filters, which is a chamber in the exhaust system that helps trap excessive exhaust soot. The difference in the 6.7 liters case is that selective catalytic reduction is also part of the equation, which means diesel exhaust fluid is injected downstream in order to reduce emissions output. Overall, both of these engines have a lot of potential when modified correctly. However, the 6.4 liter is plagued with catastrophic issues compared to the 6.7 liter. At the end of the day, the 6.4 liter is one of the most hated diesel engines of all time, and it's really hard to work on, and it's mostly designed as a throwaway engine. Now, after Ford got sick of all the issues with the 6 liter and the 6.4 liter Powerstroke, they decided to make their own Powerstroke engine in-house, which is how the 6.7 liter came to life. I think it's safe to say that the 6.7 liter is a far better engine than the 6.4 liter Powerstroke. It's lighter, it's more powerful, it's stronger, and it's far more reliable, and it's more efficient. Overall, it's just better in every single way. The only area that the 6.4 liter is the better engine is with the stock compound turbocharger, which produces a huge amount of power when tuned correctly. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps out the channel. If you think there's anything I missed, or if there's anything you want to add, drop a comment down below and let me know. While you're down there, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. This is Bryce with Dust Runners Automotive Journal, signing off.